Welcome to Healy Fit with your instructor, Jen. For more, please subscribe, like, or select notifications. Today I have a Pilates practice for you, focusing on glutes and core. So come on down. All you'll need is a mat or some floor space. We'll start out with rolls into the back. From a seated position, you want your knees folded, and we're going to just roll into the back and then lift into a tall seated posture. Feel the stretch across your back, and then as you come up to the top, you're trying to lift the crown of the head up as tall as you can. Feel the sits bones as you sit up tall, the two bony protrusions underneath your glutes. And then feel your shoulders open up across the back. Speaking of across the back, let's start to take one arm at a time, bend the elbow, and add a full thoracic twist. So we're twisting along the mid-back. As you twist, I want you to imagine you are wringing out a towel. So as you bring one arm back, you're going to exhale, pull the navel to spine, and use the inner abdominals, the transverse abdominis. Let's take it a little bit further. From that bent elbow, let's go to straight arm. So one arm stays forward, and the arm that stays forward, we kind of drive over, and the arm that comes back, we pull back. So we feel the stretch across the front shoulder that's reaching back, and we feel the stretch across the back of the shoulder that's reaching front. All right, let's go ahead and start to take it all the way down to the mat. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, peel yourself up from the floor. Reach the arms to the sky. Awesome, rolling down. Arms reach up, rolling up. Arms extend to the sky. Continue a few more like that. Drawing your belly in and down. Pulling your pelvic floor in and up. Finding that tall seated posture again as we rise to the top of each rep. Awesome, just a few more like this. All right, last one. All the way down. Go ahead, take one knee, tuck it in towards you. Take the other leg, extend it, kind of hovering over the mat, and switch. Single leg stretch with bent knee, with head on the floor, still warming up. So we want to give our bodies the opportunity to ease into the movements. Keep your abs tucked in and down, so again, engaging that transverse abdominis. And then if you're ready for it, lift your head, look towards your toes. Keep your belly drawn in and down, and just alternate that leg that you are pulling in. And then stretch the opposite leg all the way to the other side of the room. Awesome, let's bring both knees in, relax the head to the floor, and circle the knees around the ceiling, massaging into the lower back. Change direction of your circles. Feel that massage into the lower back. And then let's go from the single leg to both legs. Reach the arms overhead, extend the legs out at about 45 degrees, or if you're ready for it, you can go lower. The goal, even if you go to 45 or lower, is going to be to keep the low back on the floor. Keep the navel pulled towards the spine. When and if you're ready, as you tuck the knees in, you could lift the head, nose towards knees. So instead of just peeling the hips forward and back, you're going to draw the rib cage towards those hips. Let's go straight into a single leg stretch with straight leg, head on the floor, little pump, stretch along the back of the leg into the hamstring, all the way up to the toes, and then extend the leg opposite all the way down towards the floor. Head up if you're ready for it. Draw the rib cage towards the hips if you lift your head up. Keep your navel pulled towards your spine. Good, everything's strong. Fantastic. From single to double, fingertips by the temples. Lower the legs down again to about 45. Bend the knees and extend the legs up to the sky. Draw the legs down, bend the knees, and then lift the legs as you unfold the knees all the way up to the sky. Awesome. A few more like this. If you're ready for it, just lift the head. Look through the knees to the other side of the room. Keep your chin elevated from your chest so you've got plenty of room for each breath. And keep the elbows just out to the sides, maybe inside or just outside your peripheral range of vision. Rocking the knees side to side. Let's take a recovery. And then bring the heels to the floor right behind the glutes. Slowly peel your back up. What we all came for, this amazing glute workout. Go ahead, draw your navel back toward your spine, peel your back up from the floor, and then slowly imprint your back all the way back down. Rock your hips up, lift, and then imprint bone by bone back down to your mat. Drive through your heels, squeeze through your hamstrings and glutes, and then slowly release back down toward your mat. Let's hold the next one up. We're going to keep the left side down as we lift the right knee up and down. Good, so left foot staying on the floor. Right knee just lifting up and down. We're trying to keep as much elevation as we can, but notice since you're only driving through one heel, your elevation may have dropped. Maybe every time the right foot comes back down, we try to re-lift. But as long as your glutes are hovering just above the floor, you are doing fantastic. Take it from a knee lift to a knee extension. Extending the leg into that bent knee, and then out to the leg extension. Good, non-stop action for those glutes, for the hamstrings, and for your core. Awesome. Let's take the ankle on top of the knee. Drop your hips back down to the floor. Try to open up as much as you can, and then lift up and down to your single leg glute raise. Drive through the heel. Release all the way down. Squeeze into the glutes and hamstrings. Awesome. Keep going. Try to use that same imprint and peel off that you did earlier. All right, let's go into a crunch. Just going center this time, fingertips to temples, or if you need neck support, you could always wrap your hands around the back of the head. We're going to pull the rib cage towards the hips, draw the navel towards the spine, lift the shoulders, kind of pulling them down towards the hips. All right, let's take your left hand, extend it all the way out, and then reach it over towards that right knee, going into a cross, working into the obliques. And again, every time we work into the obliques, imagine that wringing out of a towel. So feel the shoulder kind of pull towards the hip. Exhale as you come up and over. And release all the way back down. Awesome. Hands towards heels. Let's go back into our glute bridge. This time, maybe let's lift the heels up off the floor. Just an option if you're up for it. Going a little bit more into that challenging addition of the calves into this movement. Awesome. Head down, elevation into the chin. So you've got plenty of room for each breath as you go into this challenging move, lifting the glutes up from the floor. and then imprinting the back down bone by bone. Good. Try to feel each vertebra lift off, and then each vertebra imprint back down to your mat. Awesome. Let's take that right heel, send it to the floor, and tuck the left knee in and down. Awesome. Continue to lift up and release. Lift up and release. Good. Feeling that drive along the right side. Hamstrings and glutes, just trying to bring the glutes up from the mat. Now let's take the leg in and out. Good. Really point the toes all the way to the other side of the room. Try to re-engage along that right side, lifting the hips up as high as you can from the mat. Awesome. And that left leg tucks in and extends out. Let's take it into our figure 4. Slowly peel the back up from the mat, and then slowly imprint back down. Driving through that right side, trying to lift up as high as you can, and then slowly bringing the back down. Good. Think of it as a tennis bracelet. So as you peel up, you look at the price tag and then slowly release it back down to the tray that the jeweler gave you. God, that priceless work of art that is our spine. We slowly release back down and go into our crunches. Center it first, so fingertips by the temples or surrounded and interlaced behind the head. Now, if you do bring your hands behind your head, you want to remember to push your head into the back of the hands so you get a little bit of muscle tone along the back of the neck. So we're not pulling the neck, but using our arms to assist in that lift and just give your head a little bit of cushioning. Awesome. After this one, go ahead, extend the right arm and take the right arm over to the left leg. Good. Reaching out and then trying to bring the shoulder up from the floor all the way over to your left hip. Now, if you want to take it a little bit further, try to lift the left shoulder up as well. God, you're really getting a big crunch along the outer obliques and then into the central abdominals as well. Fantastic. Let's bring those legs all the way out, arms all the way up, stretch, and then slowly peel yourself up from the floor. Try to keep your heels pressed down towards the mat best you can, using your abdominals to slowly bring yourself down to the floor. Reach the arms up overhead, and then keep those abs pulled in, rib cage towards hips, even as you bring your hands overhead. Slowly peel yourself up, reach your hands towards your toes. Now remember, this pose is called spine stretch. So as you bring it up, that's exactly what you want to feel. You might feel a little stretch into the hamstrings and glutes, but we are looking for a spine stretch. So from tailbone to crown, can you elongate each vertebra up from the one below it and really get a nice length and extension from tailbone to crown? Arms overhead, scoop the belly in and up, come up, reach towards toes, and then slowly imprint back down, bone by bone. Doing fabulously. We are almost there. Keep going, keep going. Let's go for one more. And then reach all the way out to those toes for a nice hamstring glute stretch. Awesome. From here, we will take it onto our side. So slowly transition onto your side. Let's channel into those glutes again. Bottom arm cradles the head. Top arm you want to bring in front of the abs, reminding you to keep your abs in and back. We're going to go into our clamshell, open and shut. Knees open apart and then squeeze back in. Heels are elevated from the floor. Try to keep your heels and toes touching. Go ahead, open, 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 and release. Now as you open, you're pushing the top knee towards the back of the room. So really feel that outer glute, outer thigh flexion before you squeeze through the inner thighs. Next move, knee tap, toe tap, knee tap, toe tap. So that bottom leg is still lifted. And we are just going from the knee tap to that open clamshell. Go ahead, this is really working to the outer edges of the hip, into the outer glute, and the outer thigh. Keeping the knees tucked in and the heels separated. You're going to kick the top leg out and then pull the top knee back down. Let's do a few more of those. God, really feeling it, outer thigh, outer glute here. Continue on, you're doing so good. Last one, and rest. All right, let's flip it over so we can stretch through that side. So the legs are going to come to the other side. Bottom arm reaches up and over. We're feeling the stretch along the love muffin into the outer thigh and glute. Let's come on back down. Bottom hand cradles the head. Top hand reminding you to keep those abs tucked in. Clamshell open and shut. Go ahead, squeeze that top leg. We got about 4 more. Open, squeeze, lift, release. Awesome. Toe to knee. Go ahead, so that movement along the hip line. Go ahead, knees touch, toes touch, knees touch, toes touch. Go ahead, so when the knees touch, the heels are separated. When the toes touch, the knees are separated. Last one. Now let's kick up and then squeeze back down. Kick and extend, squeeze back down. God, again, feeling all that work, outer thigh, outer glute, and then into kind of top of hip, into that area I termed love muffin, because it sounds so much better than the alternative, right? All right, let's stretch out that side too. So sweep the legs around other side. And then we're just going to lift up and over to stretch into the outer edge of the obliques, into the top of that hip. When you come down next, we're going to go onto our bellies, do a little bit of work into the lower back, hips and glutes. All right, from your tummy, go ahead, lift one heel in at a time. Squeeze in and release. Now notice here, shoulders down, neck is long, eye gaze can be between the eyebrows or right out front. Squeeze using your hamstrings and glutes. Belly is up and in, away from the mat, so squeeze your tummy back towards your spine. Try to keep as much stability into the upper body as you can. Now we're moving into both legs. Good, from singles to double, heel, squeeze into glutes, and then release tops of feet back down to the floor. God, really channel all that energy into the backside. Last one. And let's rise up to all fours. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, readjust as needed. And let's go into our cat to cow. All right, so taking a move from yoga, we're rounding up into the back and then releasing down into the belly. Scoop your tummy up and in, and then release your belly into a little stretch on the way down. Awesome. Let's bring it into a tabletop. Take one leg out into your fire hydrant. All right, so knee lifts out to the side to your edge. Feeling again, outer thigh, outer glute, our focal point for today. Now these are your last sets of exercises. From here, after we even out both sides, we are going into stretch. So keep in the movement. Knee lifts, leg extends, fold the heel in and drop the knee down. Good, so we're going into fire hydrant with leg extension. Go ahead, knee out to the side, leg extends, fold back in and squeeze back. Awesome. Almost there. Let's take that leg out to the side. Little leg lifts out to the side, feeling it, glutes, outer thigh. Almost there. 4, 3, 2, 1, and tuck in. Let's go into a hurdler stretch. Bring the front, or that leg that we were just working, to the front. And then your other leg that was stabilizing to the back, so we can stretch out the outer thigh and the glute. Come on back up, push the floor away, come back into kneeling, and let's go into the other side. Go ahead, first activate the core and then lift the leg out and down. Good, we've got 4 more, lift and lower, 3 and lower, 2, 1, and now add the leg extension. Knee comes out, leg extends, fold in and down. Knee comes out, extend, in and down. Fantastic, you've got 4 more. Awesome. Next one, let's hold that leg out and then drop the toes down and up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let's go into that pigeon or hurdler stretch on this side. Go ahead, feeling the length into the outer thigh and glute. And let's go into some stretches. All right, we're going to go into a butterfly or bound angle pose here. Hands surround the toes. Go ahead, lower your knees down towards the floor. Stretch along the inner thighs, the adductors. And then slowly tuck your legs in. Big reach up to the sky. Take one wrist at a time. Lengthen to stretch along the front of the body, all the way from your shoulders to your hips. Exhale, open up along the back, reaching the hands forward, pull the chest through, and now lift, open, open, open across the chest, and then bring it all the way in, because you deserve a big hug for that amazing workout today. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.